Hello, it's the Pretty Good Shepherd here with you with another in a series of occasional videos that I'll put out on the web where I share things that I learned from sheep and those that lead them. This video is called Sheep Are Smart, and I'm making it because 3 times this week I've heard people tell me in conversation or in an illustration in a talk that sheep are dumb. Sheep are dumb, sheep are dumb, sheep are dumb. And it's time that we get a little bit of contrary evidence out there and speak up on behalf of the sheep and try to tackle this myth head on. Let's start with Mark Twain. That's a name that many people know. Mr. Twain said that it's just like man's vanity and impertinence to call an animal dumb because it's dumb to his dull perceptions. And so I'm going to try to frame this up here that people call sheep dumb just because they don't understand sheep. Or maybe they don't like sheep, I don't know, but that may be it. But let's not just talk about sheep being dumb. Let's take a whole barnyard full of animals and see how we can dumb down the barnyard. Let's start with horses. I've never heard the phrase horses are dumb, but I could make up some reasons that horses are dumb here. We could charge horses with the evidence that they don't even know their way through a barrel racing course. You have 3 barrels out there, and you have to train a horse for weeks and months to get them to run through as fast as they can. And they don't even know. Man, horses, they're dumb. There's 3 barrels out there in the arena, and you turn them loose, and they don't even know what to do out there unless they have a rider on their back in there. Or you could say, horses are dumb because they always fall for the old carrot and stick routine. You put a carrot out in front of them, allegedly, and they'll walk for miles chasing that carrot. And it's a well-known phenomenon, documented across many cultures in their proverbs, that that horses will often refuse to drink when led to water. So, man, horses, they're dumb. And it's not just horses. We could put any animal in the barnyard in here and say that they're dumb. For example, we could say that cows are dumb. They just chew and look at you. There's a really dumb blank stare. I mean, just by looking at them that you can tell cows are dumb. Or you could say that dogs are dumb. I mean, dogs eat their own vomit. I mean, that's kind of dumb. That's some pretty hard evidence to overcome. Or you could say that chickens are dumb. You cut a chicken's head off and it runs around after its head's cut off. I mean, that's dumb. Or what about pigs? You could say pigs are dumb. You clean off a pig, get the mud off of them, and they return and they roll back in the mud. This is something that people know about. So we could make a case for any of the animals in the barnyard being dumb. And so let's go to the sheep themselves. Let's talk about the sheep and how smart they are. For example, here's a scene of a sheep competition near where the Pretty Good Shepherd lives. And I was out there watching it, and those sheep, you can see the guy out there in the field, and there's a pen out there. And the goal of this competition is to get those sheep in that pen. And I'm going to tell you right now that if those sheep don't want to go in that pen, they're not going to go in. In fact, one of the shepherds that work in this competition, they said, whenever you're trying to pen a sheep, you're playing against a world-class chess master. They're always one step ahead of you. And so if they don't want to be pinned, it's not going to go very well. So the shepherds, to get an advantage here, they have to call in for some help. They actually bring in their sheepdogs to help them pin those sheep. Now, you have to know how to work with the sheepdog. But the sheepdog actually works with the shepherd to triangulate and get those sheep in the pen, and the sheep have a healthy respect for that sheepdog, so that helps them get in there. But those sheep, if you don't know what you're doing, they're always going to be one move ahead of you, and you're never going to get them in those pen. Even experienced shepherds have a hard time pinning sheep from time to time because they're so crafty and savvy. Let's look at this picture here. You can see this is a picture of some sheep near where the Pretty Good Shepherd lives, and you can see they're all bundled together here. Now it's a hot day and they're looking for the shade, but even if you see them out in the field, sheep tend to herd together. This is a well-known phenomenon. So somebody might say, man, sheep are dumb. They just all bundle together there. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Well, from a sheep's perspective, it makes a lot more sense, but you have to kind of get a bigger picture here. So let's go out into the open ocean here and look at some fish that are kind of herded together there, a school of fish, and there's some predators in the water there. And it's a good defensive behavior when predators come in that animals in the wild pull in to a herd or a school behavior, and this maximizes the chance that the herd will survive, and it becomes very confusing for the predator who wants to single out a fish. in there, and the young ones often get protected on the inside. In there, this happens through a variety of predators in the open ocean there, but you can see it across a multitude of behaviors. And nobody's calling fish dumb because of this basic defensive maneuver. Or you go out into the Serengeti of Africa, and you look at zebras, and they herd together as they feed, and they herd together even more when predators come in to attack them. And nobody that I've heard of looks at zebra herds and defensive maneuvers in the herd and goes, "Man, look at those dumb zebras." It's a very good defensive maneuver that makes a lot of sense when you look at it from the animal's perspective. One last piece of evidence as we look at the case for sheep being smarter than people think that they are. It's in the history of domesticated animals. You know, animals are in the wild, and we just saw some scenes of animals in the wild, but some animals have chosen to become domesticated, to become partners with humans. And in the history of domestication, many, many thousands of years ago, the dog is widely believed to have become the first domesticated animal, man's best friend, as they say in there. But not very many people know that the second domesticated animal was the sheep. And the willingness of the dog and the sheep to domesticate, and other animals to domesticate with humans, greatly improves their odds of survival. In fact, it almost guarantees their odds of survival. You think, they're just sheep going to slaughter. Actually, no, they become partners, and the herd flourishes. The sheep are healthier. They live longer lives. There's more of them. And it's a much more benevolent environment than the wild itself. And so sheep were next to dogs, were some of the earliest animals to domesticate with humankind. And this greatly improved the odds of survival of the species in there. So are sheep dumb? Well, just two quotes as we close, two quotes from shepherds that I've worked with as we close here. One said, when I asked her if sheep are dumb, she said, well, sheep will do dumb things when they're not being fed. And that kind of goes to the shepherd. If a shepherd keeps their sheep fed well, they're going to not go out and do dumb things trying to seek food. Sheep are hungry and they're needy, and if they're well tended, you see a lot less of what people would call stupid behaviors in sheep. And then another one just said very frankly, she said, sheep aren't dumb. It's only people who hate sheep who say that sheep are dumb. And I think that pretty well sums it up. So it's a pretty good shepherd. Signing off on another lesson. Hope you learned a few things that you didn't know coming in.